to, yeah. Make you feel lucky, lucky. Make you wanna love me. Baby, spend the night with me. Never know love is,
Dear Lavish.
touch me.
Hey everybody, my name is Maya Celeste and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm gonna be real with you guys right now. I am coming at you guys at the late night chill vibes. I don't have any of my lighting or anything. I've been having a bit of a week. I was actually debating whether or not I wanted to post this, but I was like, I cannot go this whole week without acknowledging Social Work Month. Hello! This month is Social Work Month, and I was like, I'm going to be a social worker. I am a social worker in the making. I have to talk about social work, duh. I'm gonna give you guys a small little story time for our real life conversation today. We're gonna talk about the reason I decided to go into social work on behalf of Social Work Month. So let's get into it. You may see different things in the background, but don't worry, don't fret. I just wanted to have this moment to share with you guys and give a little bit of my story. My story starts where? In college, honestly. I always knew for the longest time that I wanted to help people. I was always drawn to it. I was brought up that way. I used to, volunteer with feeding the hungry and, just different community service and outreach type of programs and ministries in church. And so it's just in my household, we've always been hospitable and welcoming to others. So I feel like that kind of made me and influenced the type of person that I am today, in which led me to where I am now. And I always knew I wanted to help people. That was the overall gist. I was very influenced by my mother's story. She's a nurse, like I told you guys before. She's been a nurse for, over 20 years now, I want to say, or about 20 years. And so she used to come home and have the most craziest stories. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, you went through this? When it came to that time of choosing what it is that I wanted to do for me, I was like, okay, well, my mom, she helps people and I want to help people. So maybe nursing is the way to go. I ended up going to my university in my state. Let's just say science was not working with me the way I wanted to work with it. I just never had this desire and strong interest in sciences, and nursing classes is full of science. I remember when someone told me, if you don't like the sciences, I don't know how you're gonna get through nursing, because a lot of nursing is about the medical side of it. Calculating, how much you're supposed to give for your patient. There's definitely a part that's about the quality of life and the quality of care to the patient, but there is a science part to it as well. I wasn't really taking heed, and it really showed in my education. My grades, they were plummeting, and I kind of just got to this low place, and I was just like, what is literally going on? Is nursing not for me? And I had to really start asking those questions, and I was just in this confused state. Let's just say my mental health was not the best during that time. So I don't know, I just feel like that was one of the big red flags that told me, okay, maybe this major isn't for me. And by the way, I just want to say, I'm not knocking nursing at all, because it is an amazing field and it is a needed field. I'm just talking about how I was able to tell what was for me and what wasn't for me, and how that led me to social work. So it was my second semester of sophomore year, and I told my parents I don't want to keep wasting their money, so I decided to take a break from school. And I did some research, and I saw that there were CNAs. CNAs are certified nursing assistants, and so I was like, okay, if I become a CNA, I can work hand in hand with a nurse and a nursing home. That nursing home is what did it for me. That experience told me kind of that gave me the biggest red flag. I did enjoy my time as a CNA. I really enjoyed helping. I worked with older individuals, older adults in the geriatric section, the older adults who had dementia and Alzheimer's. And so that was a great experience. The only thing that was bad about it was the actual company I was working for, and not even the company, just the facility and the employees there. I didn't exactly have the best experience with them, and they kind of played a role in why I didn't want to be a nurse anymore. Let's just say it was a lot, like discrimination, and I just learned a lot about myself. That's also the exact same year when COVID hit. Literally 2020, COVID hit. So I realized with nursing, it focused more on the medicinal side. So as a CNA, I would go in there with our residents, that's what we call them, but they're comparable to, your patients. I would go in there with my residents. I would change their depends or their diapers. I would wash them up. I would make their beds. I would feed them. I would clean them. I would do activities with them. I would do a lot of things that required that one-on-one time with the patient. And then the nurses were like my supervisors in a way. And the nurses, they didn't really do that because like everyone in the facility was their patient. So every couple of hours, they would go to each resident and they would just give them their medicine. And I know they would do, it was kind of like they were running like a pharmacy almost. Like the nurse's office was like a pharmacy full of medications and different things for residents and their needs, honestly. And I was just like, like I said, I was kind of working there, so I kind of just get a peek at what it is that the nurses are doing. And I was just like, so this is all you guys are doing? Now, of course, I know, and for my nurses out there, I know that you guys do way more than just that. There's so many fields in the nursing field. But it's just like, when I noticed that it is that medicinal piece, I think that was the part that kind of just like, that's not what I'm looking for. Like, I can tell you guys are in the same realm as I am when it comes to helping people, but that particular piece has to do with that science piece, and that's not clicking for me. And I was okay. What I did realize though was that advocacy side of me. Like, I never noticed how much I advocated for others and how much I cared about others. I really enjoyed doing the ADLs, making sure they had what they needed whenever like a family member will call, or if they get a package and I realize, oh, she ran away, she ran of this, getting their resources. That was a sign. And then some of the residents that might have been there for years, their dementia wasn't like that bad yet. Some of them would literally talk to me about how they were feeling. Some would be crying, and some was just thankful to be around me. And I would want to advocate for them. And I would be like, no, I don't like how this person is treating them. And I just saw myself kind of as like this middleman. It's just how much I cared about the quality of care that these people were receiving. It was COVID. They weren't able to see their families. Like, they literally had to talk to their family members through a window or through FaceTime. Most of them had dementia, so not seeing their families all the time, they were depressed. They were sad. And so it was just like that empath side of me was kicking real bad. But the CNAs that were working there with me, like, some of them were just there for a paycheck. And I'm like, no, like, I care about these people. So I think that was like the first clue for me, or the second clue. The first clue, I said, not having that connection with science. And that second sign was that advocacy bone really sticking out inside of me. So again, I didn't know what that was, but now we're here. Now I know. So after doing CNA, I remembered I was very interested in the ADL section. So I was like, okay, maybe doing the activities of daily living. That's what I want to do. And just helping people, even like the hospitals, and helping them once they get into their homes, and rehabilitation, and giving them whatever they need. I was like, oh, I could do that. and I ended up in occupational therapy. I talked to an occupational therapy specialist, well, therapist, and she explained to me what it is that she does. And when they kept explaining it to me, I was like, yeah, maybe. But I realized it's more than physical therapy, occupational therapy. That's like a whole nother sector. It was just a whole nother sector that I was like, I feel like I'm getting close to what I want to do, but that's not hitting it either. So when I decided to go back to school, I went to a community college just to take a few classes so I didn't have to pay thousands of dollars for classes and just a few hundreds of dollars for classes. I started taking my prerequisites again, but I decided to take an anthropology class. And that class I really enjoyed. I just love learning about people and not having to have this biased or prejudiced way of thinking and just being there for people. And then I learned about ethnocentrism, basically where one culture believes that their culture is the best culture and that other cultures are inferior to them. Almost like racism. When one race thinks that they're the best race, it's a lot. And it was just so interesting to me. From that, I decided that I would be a sociology major. And that with my master's degree that I'll just go into counseling because it'll give me a better view of others and learning about people. I was very interested in that. And I was just like, maybe I could just be a counselor and talk to other people about how to be great humans and be great people and spread that goodness. And so from there, I ended up actually talking to one of the best professors in the whole wide world. She was like my advisor because I was kind of transferring back into my university at that time, and I think it was 2021 at that point. And so that basically means I took like a year off from school, to be honest. I took a few classes at the community college that ended up not even being transferable, but that's a whole nother. But I basically talked to this professor, and she was like, so you want to go into counseling and you're getting your sociology degree? And I was like, yeah. She was like, in social work that you can literally do that too. You can be a counselor and get your license. And I was just like, oh, really? She was like, yeah. She asked me, what it is that I want to do. I gave her my whole story. And she was like, why aren't you looking into social work? And I was just like, I don't know. But she ended up telling me, you know what? I'm not going to do this advising sheet for you. Why don't you come back to me after you have done some research on social work, look up the terminal degree for social work, and look up what it is that social workers do. And I was sitting here like, this lady literally giving me an assignment to do for advising? I sure did it. And that's where I just fell in love. I took my intro to social work class. She ended up getting me involved. You do your intro to social work class first after doing some prerequisites. I really feel like that's like the eye opener for everyone. I'm telling you, it's like you learn so much about social work itself and all the different fields and so much that they do and how they help people on a whole nother level. Like media, TV, movies has nothing on what it is that social workers really do. I was just like, wow. I would never forget the documentaries, and I'm not even a documentary girl, but like the different things that we watched and how my heart, like that empath, it got me on. Like when you learn about social work and find out how it's literally just about serving vulnerable and oppressed populations, it just gives you another perspective of life. And I was just so excited and so motivated after that first class I took. I was like, I have such a heart for those who can't do for themselves. I'm gonna do it. I'm the type of person to get in the mud with you. I'm gonna be right beside you, and we're gonna figure this thing out together because we all deserve to have as best of a life as we can. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just who I am. I try to see the best in people, and I just feel like that's what we do in social work. I'm just so in love with it. Like We have our 6 core values that was just like, duh, like it makes so much sense. The acronym is SID-SICK. Service, because we serve people, we serve others. Integrity, that is very important. Dignity and worth of a person, I think that's very important, because it's like some people in the world end up treating others like as if they're inferior or beneath them. You still should see the worth in that person, no matter where their socioeconomic level is. It doesn't matter. Like social justice. So a part of social work is also that justice piece and having justice for all. That's like with policy change and advocating for others and changing and implementing plans and policies and institutions. We have a role in that part too. And then the next one is the importance of human relationships. That one was kind of obvious to me. Like, you have to understand the importance of having a relationship with others. One of our classes is understanding the stages of development. Like, I just think, like, in order to do this job, for you to actually care about people, you have to understand how humans are the way they are and why they are the way they are. And I think that's why psychology and social work hand in hand a little bit, because psychology kind of understands why the human brain and the mind is the way it is, and social work kind of understands systems and roles that play in the part of why people do what they do. And then we have C, which is competence, and that is a big one. You have to be competent. You gotta know what you're doing, because you are dealing with lives, and that goes for a lot of the helping fields. You're dealing with lives. You have to know what you're doing. It's important to be culturally competent, knowing about other cultures, because it's not just about you. You're going to be dealing with different types of people that does not look just like you. So just being aware of different things, that's very important. So those are our 6 core values, and they are very important. I honestly can go on and on about social work, but that's my story. I fell in love with it. I've been doing it since 2021, which is why I'm graduating in 2024 this May. I made some great social work friends. Right now, I'm going after my BSW, which is my Bachelor's of Science in Social Work degree, but it's my Bachelor's in Social Work. BSW. There's just so many things you can do just to help people in social work. And it's just all has to do with those 6 core values and just understanding and using that passion to just help people overall. And there's nothing wrong with being a social worker. There's so many stigmas and stereotypes, especially when it comes to like money and finances or taking people kids. CPS is not the only thing you can do either, even though it is a good field because it helps keep families together. And I learned that too. Everybody assumes that CPS is about taking kids. No, the actual goal and purpose of CPS is, one, making sure the child is safe, because the child is the most vulnerable in the situation, but making sure that child is safe. But not only that, keeping the family together, making sure the parents are the right fit for these children, making sure they can really take care of the child. And once the child is taken care of, now mom, dad, what you doing? Like, what's going on? Y'all got some things y'all need to work through? We're here for you. We're here to give you support. We're here to aid you. Like, it's just so many different things. We can help with the mental health. We can help, like I said, with policy. So that's more on the macro level, the larger scale of things. Thinking about the systemic route, like being in, the school system. People that be on the boards and everything, they can be social workers. People who are in the justice system. It's just a field career with so many pathways. And I think the one key takeaway I want you guys to take away from is, if you're considering doing social work, think about your heart for other people. Just make sure you have the right heart for it, Make sure you are passionate about helping others and being there for people and supporting them and giving them the aid that they need. That's the main reason why I believe this is for me. And like I said, I'm so passionate about social work. I'm trying not to make it my identity, but I'm not gonna lie. I kind of did. If you guys ever have like any questions when it comes to social work, I really want to take you guys on my journey through this when it comes to my career path. Oh, so we can talk about that a little bit. When it comes to my main areas of focus after like I graduate, I'm still trying to figure out what it is that I want to do. But right now at my internship, I work for a grief counseling center, but I've been working in their youth-based programs right now. In their youth programs, they have a sector for school-based because I've been interested in doing school social work, and so far I really like it. I've been doing a lot of research on watching TikToks and stuff with actual school social workers and how they build their office and just make it a safe space for the kids. I also am interested in doing medical social work, and I feel like that's because of my CNA background. Like I said, nursing was very medicinal, but I really love CNA, and I am interested when it comes to medical things still as well. It just wasn't nursing. So when I found out that there's such thing as medical social work, I was like, so working in the hospitals, basically kind of helping families and patients when it comes to dealing with like, you know, a diagnosis they may have, better understanding what's happening, being there for them emotionally, just sitting there with them through the problem, but also in discharge when it comes to, okay, so now you're leaving the hospital, let's figure out where we're putting you next. Are you going back home? What do you need when you get back home? Do you need to be connected to the physical therapist, the occupational therapist? Do you need to be in another type of rehabilitation center? Do you need to go to a assisted living? Just preparing the people for discharge from outside of the hospital as well. I feel like it would be just a mix of both worlds. My love for social work, but my love for CNA and the medical field and the whole nursing arena, and just mixing that together. So those are the two that I'm really interested in right now. And then down the line, once I hopefully, you know, get my MSW, which I need to actually do the school social work, I believe, for my state. I hope to, you know, become licensed. After I get that and I pass my test and become a clinical social worker, today I am saying in this video that I am gonna do it. So if you guys stick with me through this journey, y'all better hope I'm gonna come back to this video and be like, y'all, remember when I had 40 views and I told y'all that I'm gonna be a clinical social worker? I did it. Y'all better remember this. I want to do that, and possibly going into counseling and being a therapist, even maybe opening my own private practice with other social workers. And honestly, I have this whole big vision, especially after I work with dementia patients and working in different sectors. I just wish I could just open one big clinic that help everybody. I have big dreams, big dreams. Let's just hope I actually, you know, make it there. Social work is definitely the path for me. And I hope whoever watches this, I know this is one of my more lazier videos because like I said, this is kind of on late night. I've been having a week, but I just had to get on here and just say happy social work month to all my social workers out there, and for all my prospective social workers. It's our month. Y'all should cash up us. And yeah, I'm just so thankful for us. Honestly, I love this field. I don't know where I would be without this field. This field really saved me personally because I was going through it mentally, not understanding who it is and what it is that I wanted to do and be. I'm just so excited to continue on this journey of social work, and I just really hope and pray that like I make a change in someone's life, because that's what social work is about. They told us that social work is being a change agent, and that's what I'm gonna do. So we'll see where this takes us. I'm gonna have way more content when it comes to social work, so stay tuned. With that, this video is about uplifting social work. We need more social workers, Black social workers, Indian social workers, all of y'all. Just, I feel like all of y'all should be social workers. But anyways, stay tuned for next week. I have a vlog coming out. It's my boo's birthday. You guys already met Elijah. And if you haven't, you better go back and watch the Loving You in Your Boo video that we posted. It was his birthday, and it's also a time that we will be commemorating his mother. Her anniversary is coming up actually this week, which is why I was like, this week is so challenging because I had a very close relationship with her. But, you know, yeah. That time is coming up. I'm so weird when it comes to like death, and like we just talked about grief. I'm still grieving myself, but that was my boyfriend's mother, and yeah, my heart is just with him and his entire family. So next week, you guys are gonna see our vlog, be with my man, and hopefully, if they allow me to, you guys could see our commemoration to his mother. And yeah, stay tuned next week. My name is Maya Celeste, and always remember to love yourself. Bye.
Make you feel lucky, lucky. Make you